Hi guys. So today we're going to talk about a question I get asked a lot, and that is, can I change my personality? So I have an answer to this question, but I'm going to leave it until the end to answer the question because I feel like we do need to set up a framework to kind of understand it better and exactly like how it works. So first of all, I'm going to talk to you guys about a concept called neuroplasticity, which essentially is a fancy way of saying that the brain can change itself. So the way that the neurons fire together, wire together, I'm sure you might have heard this as well, is that as we do certain things, as we think certain thoughts, those neuronal pathways will become stronger and fire together more. And therefore, what we do is what we're going to be likely to do in the future, because that's the way the brain shapes itself. So I had a neuroscience professor explain this really well in one of my classes, and it goes as this. So think of that you're on a beach, right? And maybe you have kids, or maybe you remember when you were a kid that you like to build little rivers in the sand, right? And then pour water into those little rivers, and then watch it, kind of go down towards the ocean or the lake. So if you think about it, the deeper that you make each little river, the easier it is for the water to travel down that river, right? And our brain kind of works in a similar way. So the more that you say, think compassionate thoughts, the more likely you are to think the compassionate thoughts, because that pathway is just like smooth and it's wiring together, and it's just kind of ready to think those thoughts. So if you're thinking about, can I change my personality? There's another concept that we want to consider when we could think about this question, and it's trait versus state. So psychologists have this concept where we think about, is a personality, so personality, it can be divided into a state or a trait. So let's talk about happiness. So a happy person is a trait, right? They're consistently happy over certain scenarios. They're not only happy at work, they're happy at parties, they're happy everywhere, right? Or at least reasonably so. And then we have trait happiness, right? So maybe this person, state happiness. So maybe this person is only happy in at the gym, right? So they're like complete miserable grump everywhere else, but at the gym they're happy. So we know that their state happiness is high at the gym, but their trait happiness overall is quite low. Okay, so what we know is that state translates into trait. So the more often that you feel a certain trait, the more often you feel a certain state, the more often it's gonna translate into a trait. Okay, are you guys with me here? Okay, so how does this happen, right? Or how do we make this happen? So let's use happiness again, because that's something kind of everybody wants, right? So it's almost kind of mathematical. We can kind of reverse engineer it. So if I want to be a happy person, let's think about, what are the thoughts that happy people think, right? Are happy people, do you think they're like super hard on themselves or super negative in their minds? Probably not. So if I want to achieve trait happiness, I need to first achieve state happiness regularly in my everyday life. So kind of try to up that state happiness. And to do that, I need to reverse engineer that and think, what are the thoughts that cause me to feel state happiness, to be happy in this moment? So maybe when I think about thoughts around gratitude, I feel happier. So, I think like, oh, I'm grateful for my family, for my friends, etc. And then my state happiness goes up. So can we change personality? Yes, but it is difficult. It requires quite a bit of effort, and what it really requires is being able to watch your thoughts and knowing which thoughts you need to create certain emotions, to create certain behaviors, and to think, what if I were a happy person, what would I be thinking and what would I be doing? Maybe write those down on a list and watch your thoughts every day, because you're going to see thoughts crop up that are not conducive to this state or this trait. and you're gonna have to reframe them, which is psychologists speak for just kind of thinking a different thought. This work it's intensive, right? But it definitely can work. Someone like a coach can help you through this, so that relationship between a client and a coach is almost like a trainer and a someone who gets a fitness instruction. Like, we are here to help you kind of train that state, train that trait, and kind of really help your neuroplasticity rewire and become something different, maybe something better. So if you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and please put in the comment section if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any other coaching or psychology related questions.